You guys hear me now? All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Should be good now. I didn't realize. No, I was just naming off everybody who's already here. So, waiting for me. Appreciate that. 10 minutes. Sorry, guys. I meant to come in and change the stream time, and I forgot to do that. So, here I am now. Oh, man. But it has been a fun day. All right, everybody can hear me now. All right. RTX audio is great, but it's super annoying because I never realized that it is off when it is. And now it's crap. So again, did get some work done today, so we can go ahead and press on the power, press the button, and there's light. Hot dog. So pretty happy about that, but several chain of events to get where I am right now. So the couple issues. Number one, all of the buttons I bought are momentary. Not a single one of them are latching. And you have to have latching buttons for LEDs, and I'm an idiot. So every button I had does not work. But I do have a random thing of switches. I happen to have a 12 volt red LED latching button. So able to finally get the LEDs working properly and wired properly. But again, every other stupid switch here that I have, they're nice. They click so well. I don't know if you can hear that, but they click so nicely. But they are all momentary. And I know I'd bought a bunch of momentary in order to do the gyro watch winder, but sadly, I didn't buy the other ones. And then the other latching ones that I do have here are 5 volts, which is no bueno because I'm running 12 volts. So both these, I think these are going to labeled 5 volts. Let me verify here. Because if I do have one more, then hot dog. Yeah, this is definitely a 5 volt, labeled 5 volts on it. And this one, I think I tested this one, and it says 5. This one does not say 5 volts or not. But it's a momentary anyways, doesn't matter. This one is a latching 5 volt. But I'm running 12 volt LEDs, so none of these help. So I'm going to go ahead and order some more in, so I have for the other buttons here, but for right now that'll work. Aaron, is it also in Streamlabs OBS? Because that's what I use. It's much easier to integrate a lot of features into Streamlabs OBS than Slob or versus the original OBS or OBS Studio. But yeah, so I'm going to clean here for just a minute because again, I did not have time to do that. I was busy working on things all day. And I'm going to show you guys the backside. So I ended up killing, remember I told you I was using one of those DC to DC down converters. Where's one at? I can show you guys again. For those that were not here. Who's that? Yeah, so this guy here. So this right here, this is a DC to DC converter. It takes 50 volts, 5 to 50 volts, and converts it from 5 to 36 volts on the out, 35 volts on the out. Well, I fried this one. They are only good for 3 amps. I'm guessing that all of the LEDs on and off are pulling more than the 3 amps to start with, and that's no good. So this one, when you turn it on, it just squeals really high at you and doesn't actually work anymore. I ended up using what I showed before because I didn't know if I was going to have to adjust anything, but I have that big honkin' step-down converter, which does, I believe, 10 amps. And that is then what I'm using on this. I'm going to go ahead and heat up the hot glue gun, and we're going to get that mounted in the back. I also did forget completely. Today was just basically a kid's day, and I did not print out the LED holders for the front. So that'll be another day. But at least I can show you guys my progress for today after I clean up all of these switches. And now that they're all mixed up, I don't know which voltages are which, so I'm just gonna have to test them. An easy way to test them is if you hook up your power supply to them and start at the lowest voltage you think they are, so 5 volts. If the LED is super bright, then it's a 5 volt. If it's really, really dim, then it's probably a 12 volt. I do have a 110 220 switch as well that is labeled 110 220, so that makes that also really easy. Yeah, all of these LEDs are more than 3 amps. I calculated to be, I thought, 1.8 amps because each one of these pulls 0.4, so 0.4, 0.8, 0.12, or 1.2, 1.6. So I thought it would be okay. Also, those DC-DC converters are like stupid cheap. I think I got 10 for $4 or $3 maybe. Like they are really, really, really cheap pieces of electronics. So I'm not surprised that it died. It could just be that one was faulty. But I have the big power converter, which I'm okay with. And what I actually can do is I can run a second output off of that of 12 volts for the front LEDs and a separate switch for that if I want to. So that way I can actually have more LEDs and more control off that same converter because it is so hefty. So it'll be okay. They're only good for 2, 3 peak. Okay, Jim. I mean, the thing on there says 3 amps. So again, if it doesn't hold up, it doesn't hold up. That's okay. Oh, the other thing is I didn't fit these corner brackets back on that are part of the BOM. They don't fit anymore. I don't know if I tried them this way. Yeah, they hit that way. They hit this way too because they're even. So I do need to remix these corners. They do just add aesthetic to it around the bed frame, but they are too long now. So I'm going to just pull these into Fusion and just snip off the one side or just remix or just make new ones for it, maybe ones with 2 bolts. But these are literally just to hide the corners of the extrusion there. But again, because of where I have to situate my bed, they do not fit on either side, which means the bed is centered, which is always a big concern when you build something. Did I center it? I did also fix the frame or the Z. I was able to pull that back about I don't know, half an inch or 3/4 inch, I guess. So it clears the front now, and I still have space in the back. What we got going on here? Oh, Jim hooked it up. What do you got here, Jim? Meanwhile, let me look this up real quick. So Jim is saying, check out this power supply. Copy that. 2 super chats. Thank you, Jim. You're the man. Pull this up here. Paste. Oh, so just a second power supply, Jim. So here's oh, it's only a 5 volt. I just have to find the same one, but a 12 volt. Wonder what the 12 volt variant is. Let's look on here. I am looking. Let's go that way. You're on Moser. So a 12 volt output. Apply. 5 volt. See if they have it on Amazon. Well, that's 55. Let's try 5012. 15 bucks looks like for a little 12 volt one. And this does 8 amps. Oh yeah, plenty there. Just verify it's the same one that I found. Amazon. Oh, it's even littler. So here's my question to that. Well, this other one here is not much bigger. It's a Meanwell, but it's 8 amps. So I think I'd rather go with this just because adding the other LEDs will get me a little closer to that 3 amps. I'm a little worried about that. But so here's the question. Can I run both of the... Jim, you're nice, man. I appreciate it. Well, shipping's free. It's Prime, brother. I appreciate it. So my question is, can I run both of these power supplies off of one fused switch? So basically I would just split off of that, I'm guessing. I don't need to have 2 separate power inputs into the printer, right? It's a dumb question, but figured I'd ask it because you never know when it comes to electricity. Just wire off the AC. Okay. I appreciate it, Jim. You're definitely the man of the night for that one. I will throw that in the Amazon cart tonight and do that. I'm going to keep the down converter on there for now, just so I can keep things moving. But also, if I get ones with the higher amperage, I can also go ahead and hook up my 12-volt fans to it because I am using. I couldn't find good quality, quiet 12-volt fan, 24-volt fans. So I have some 12 volts on here that are always on, like the hot end one for now is always on. But either way, I'd like to run the power for those off of something else. That should work out. I mean, every fused IEC switch is 10 amps. So they're all, I mean, the switch is rated for 15, but the fuse in there is only for 10 amps. That's pretty standard in every switch I've ever bought. So should be all right. And the amperage of the switch is lower than of the power supply, which is the same thing you do when you do, what's it called? When you do, what am I thinking of? Breakers. Because you don't want them to blow. Yeah, I think the one that I'm using is up to 10 amps. It doesn't really say any. I mean, I've had this thing forever. So I'm going to finish getting this stuff cleared off here, and then I'll get the printer turned around, and I can show you guys what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to hot glue it onto the acrylic for now. That'll just work. I'm wondering if I should use this one. But also, since I had to move the bed back, maybe I'll work on that tonight. I need to remix the, this was the cable holder that I was using. I'm actually using it upside down because I like it better this way. But it basically goes on to the extrusion, and then the cable came in here, and then I had to kind of loop backwards and then go up into the electronics just for cable strain relief. Maybe I'll try to find a different one, but this one I would like to be shorter. I would rather it just kind of have a horizontal clamp, or I should say a vertical clamp, I guess, up and down, on the cable. So if I take this one as a base, so I can use this, then I can kind of cut this and mix my own end to it, because I'd rather the cables just kind of come down and just be in line with where the cable clamp is, and then clamp on there. That way I can just have a little loop, go straight down, because I don't have a ton of space behind the printer anymore. I've got enough to get a little bit of strain relief there, but not much space anymore because I had to move the bed back that little bit. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'll be able to get through it, I think. That away, move this. Yeah, I was a little bummed today when I finally got that switch all wired up. Like, yes, switch is good to go. Press the button and it doesn't stay on. That is a big epic letdown, I must say, because I really thought I had it all finished up, ready to go and install. So also, when you're doing the type of wiring like this, you got to remember your order of operations on it, because I had to make sure that I put the wires through the nut and then through the hole and then soldered onto the actual switch over here. So getting all that organized was a bit of a pain. I'm going to print out some of the twist in zip tie mounts. I don't have any more. Again, I'm just using these little 2020 clips that kind of just fit into the groove. They work on T slot and V slot because they both have that little extra little ridge on them that those clips clip onto. Right. All right, let's see here. Return. Okay. Now I need glue gun. This. Get this warming up. Switch cameras again. Oh, Keith, you're out on the West Coast too, dude. I was telling Aaron, I don't know if you saw, but like, man, when I lived over out in the Far East, I'm used to those high AQIs, man, from either pollution or the coal or something like that. It's tough. So make sure you wear a mask, an actual, like not like a cloth mask, an N95 mask, because that's the only thing that's going to help filter out that fine particle pollution that's coming in the air from all that burning. Yeah, literally everything's on fire there, man. I've been watching it, man. I hope you guys all stay safe. Everybody doesn't have any issues with their house or anything like that. I'd hate to see people lose things. My wife showed me a picture today. I think it was somewhere near Phoenix, and I mean, it was just leveled. Like there was literally nothing left of this neighborhood. They showed a before and after picture. It is insane, man. Absolutely insane. So this is the buck that I'm using, or buck down. I don't know. This is the DC-DC converter that I'm using right now. So what it has is you can hit the set and you can set your voltage to the 10th, and you just set that, your positive and minus here, and then you can press it again. It finishes it, or you can just press off. That just turns the whole thing off. It does have this wee little fan on here that is quite loud, but it does have a 12 volt header on it. I believe it's 12 volt. Or is it 5 volt? Actually, it looks like it's 5 volt maybe. So I don't know if I have another 5 volt 40 millimeter fan, but I wouldn't mind it. But there are mounting holes here for a 40 millimeter fan over this 30. I might go ahead and switch to that just because it'll be quieter. Let me see if I can, actually, even if I power this up, you guys are still not going to hear it because of the RTX audio. I got my cable underneath this bin. See if we can show you guys here. There we go. So we can turn that on, and the fan turns on. And see, we're set to 12 volts. And turn my button on the front on. There's the lights. And if I hit off, it turns them off. On. There we go. So again, I can adjust my out voltage to whatever I want to. Of course, I'm shaking it a little bit. Set. I'm pressing too many buttons here. Maybe these are not. Use ferrules on these. Oh, I'm getting voltage drop on it. That's interesting. That's very interesting, yeah. So I guess this is bugging out on me then. It's only getting 5.9 volts in. Yeah, I guess I am going to need that power supply because this thing is not agreeing. Works right now, but not really well. So yeah, we'll definitely have to put that in the cart. But at least we know that it works. I can say that. At least we know that this is working for the most part. But I guess, I mean, I did use it for a while. But this is, it's a Doric, D-R-O-K. I mean, it's name brand, bought off Amazon, piece of electronics, but maybe it's just seen better days. I don't know. Hey, Andrew. But we're just gonna pop it on there to keep it out of the way. Keep it out of my way for the moment. So again, I was debating on this whole build to start with, am I going to run two power supplies, one 24 volt and one 12 volt? I might end up getting that 8 amp one, again, just in case there's other things that I want to run off 12 volts instead of using, because I already have two buck down converters on here. This is a 12 volt fan, which I can run off of that other power supply, and then this 12 volt here is for the 12 volt sensor, because my sensor can only go up to 12 volts, I believe is what it is, the inductive sensor. And then I have that's going to the optocoupler, and then the other one is for the 12 volt hot end fan, which I have labeled here. And again, that runs all the time, but it's a sun on, it's nice and quiet, but yet very powerful. So that is really what I wanted, is a nice, powerful, yet quiet fan to run this. And then this fan is also very quiet. This is a 80 millimeter case fan, 12 volts. It pushes 0.09 amps, so pretty low amperage. It's very old. It's May 8th, 2008 is its manufacture date. I've had this thing for now well over a decade. I still use it, still works. It's a great fan. It actually has an LED array on the front, which serves no purpose here, but I actually used to have it on the G-Tech i3 aluminum. So if you guys would see that video from almost 4 years ago now, probably 3.5 years ago, put that video, I used this fan to cool the electronics on there. And that ran on there for quite a long time. Then it went into a box, and now it has new life. So really, really happy to be able to keep that. And I did make a splitter right here off of the 24 volt just to give me an extra header. The MKS, not MKS, sorry, the SKR 1.3 has less fan out, or less 24 volt outputs than the 1.4, has one less. So I did this to give myself two outputs. I don't know if I'm going to need them at all, but I do have at least the two of these there for any other fans that I need to run, anything like that can be done so. So yeah, again, I just want to see, I'm going to leave that there for now, but we'll probably just put the little power supply here. I think this might end up being my final configuration. I might move the SKR up a little bit more than where it is right now, simply because this is my extruder motor fan. It's or extruder motor wire. It's pretty tight. I could extend it. I'd rather not though. So I could move it to the middle and have the power coming up the middle. And that also would make it easier for the bed to get there maybe. The bed wouldn't have to go around the power supply, and then the fan could be a little more centrally mounted, bringing air up and through the enclosure. So I'm still unsure on how I'm going to do the final layout, but I'm getting somewhere. Here I have the connections for the LEDs. So these are just those snap down, I forget what these are called. I remember what's the name of these things. They're just the wire linkages. You put one hot in, and then you can put in up to, these ones do up to 4 other ones on them. So they handle it so far so good. I actually got, this was the only 4-pack I got, I think, and then I got a whole kit of them here as well that has up to 5, I can see, has clear and gray ones in there. And then I had gotten a few bags of them as well. They're actually really cheap, even on like DigiKey and like other reputable electronics places. They're actually super duper cheap. And I got a variety of some. So this one does positive and negative in the same terminal. So you can have 3 of each on there. These actually have mounting holders as well, which is nice. I got a bunch more of the 5-lead ones. So what I kind of want to do is I want to do a little less soldering when I put some of these. I'm doing a lot of custom builds now. I want to do a little less soldering, a little less splicing of wires, and I wanted to get these instead. They're all good for a few amps. I'd have to look it up again what they are. Doesn't say on here, but I have to see what the amperage rating is on these. This one is 32 amps on the dual linkage one. Is 32 amps. These ones are not labeled. I thought there was one more bag of little ones. Maybe that's it. Down here in the black hole under my desk. Very dark and servery, as you said. That's it. Yep. It was just those other ones I had. But either way, yeah, I mean, 32 amps on some of these is pretty good. I don't have to worry about them flaking out on me. See, Wolfgang is asking what firmware am I using? I am using Marlin right now. I did see about a month ago somebody posted the Duet firmware running on an SKR 1.3. I found that really cool. It's still way out of my comfort zone of doing that. I'm just getting used to Marlin. I'm going to keep Marlin for now, and that's how we're going to just continue on with everything. But later I might end up changing that. I don't know yet. So I guess what I want to do now is I want to do a quick test, and I want to see if everything is still functioning okay. So I'm going to flip this back around so you guys can see that stuff, and we can do some brief testing here. One, and right here. Two. Whoa. Yeah, this crappy table is not doing too well. Oh man. But I do need to print out some more of those twist-in ones just so I can finish tidying up all the wiring in the back there and at least get somewhere when I want to tidy the wires. So there. Turn on our power. Zoom out anymore? Yeah, a little bit more there. And let's do auto home. Well, that did not work. So we've got an issue somewhere since I last used it. Belts might be a little too tight now. I had it working pretty good with them tight. Motion, let's do home X. Oh, home Y. A whole lot of nope. Well, that's interesting. Why aren't we homing anymore? Can we move the axis at least? Something's being funky. Wonder if one of my motors came unplugged? That would be a bad thing. Not much space here to get around this. Let's see. So this one is still plugged in. This one is still plugged in, unless I plugged it in backwards. Let's try that and see what happens. Oopa. Let's see here. Motion. Move axis, X. That seems to be that was it. So one of them's moving. Which one's moving? You're moving. I don't think you are. Looks okay. Let's try homing individual axes then. Let's home X. Nope. Home Y. There's no nope. Well, can I move Y? And that motor back there is not running right now. This motor is. You can feel that. This one is not. Why is that happening? All right. Troubleshooting time, I guess. Oh. Why is one motor moving, the other one is not? Step back there and find out. I need to close up and move this stuff real quick. I was doing the ferrules and everything, so I have all my bits of stuff down here on the floor. Heating in there okay? The cat has made this printer kind of like its home, which has been super annoying. There it goes. Yeah, that cable was a little loose. All right, so now let's do auto home. Okay, it's coming up. Oh, that is the one thing I didn't fix. That's okay. So I do know this lead screw on this side is not all the way tight. It did come loose. So I will need to rectify that real quick once this gets all the way up there. Because I was moving the bed around, I picked it up and this one just came right out of the collet. I was like, whoa, that wasn't supposed to happen. But yeah, that is the one issue of using DuPont connectors in a vertically mounted thing like the SKR. I guess their connectors not really that tight. I mean, they're meant for those JSTs. I just really don't want to tip all of that. One of the kids. Who it triggered? Okay. All right, let me tighten this in here. These are real loose. I feel like it's in all the way. But it's not. Okay, why don't you go in all the way anymore? It's stuck on one of these. There it goes. Okay. Let's make sure the other side is tight. And we can try this again. That one is. Maybe I forgot to loosen. Maybe I forgot to tighten that one. I don't know. Let's pull this back a little bit again. Ugh. Okay. So auto home works. Let's make sure that the other thing I did enable is the Z auto align, which I love, but I should probably move it back a little bit in my settings. And I do need to get more, what's it called? I need to take that over there more. It is loud. You can hear that when it goes going across. So definitely need to get some more oil into the track there. Really hear that. Jeez Louise. But let me pull up my firmware for that, see if I can adjust that. Yak, and the build size is 340 by 340 by 300 or 285. I think it is 285 on the Z. I think is what it is. Let me pull up the VS Code. Visual Studio. We'll put the firmware for this, and I can get that adjusted because I need to move that over more. All right, so it's Megatron and all that stuff. Probably gonna need to open it up. So reload that. Thanks, Darren. It's getting there. Still got some stuff I need to do on it. Flash.io is still installing. I have Python. I guess it needs to update. Shucks. Well, we'll give it a minute. It's updating. I haven't launched it in a while. I haven't had to work on firmware in a hot minute. But I need to get one of those little doodads so I can put some oil directly into the pillow block. Try and get that noise down a little bit on the bearings. The default build volume, you actually get it in a few different variants of the kits you buy on AliExpress because you just buy the frame kit on Ali. That's about it. They give you a couple of the rails and things like that, but a lot of things you still need to buy and a lot of printed parts for this. So I want to say it's probably close to 60 or 50 or 60 printed parts. It's quite a bit. And I'm still not done printing everything either. There's still a lot more needs to go on here. But it's quite a few. I mean, there's like 10 just for the hot end. No, not Benchy time yet, Wolfgang. I have printed a Benchy, and it looks fantastic. Reload that. Let me pull up the DSLR big. So this is my first Benchy off of there. It's pretty good. Well, I do say so myself. It's not perfect, obviously. There's still lots of tuning needs to be done. But yeah, I mean, it's doggone good. 0.6 millimeter nozzle, running a 0.4 millimeter layer height. Even the smokestack looks good. So maybe we'll try and recreate this tonight. We'll see. But this is a 150% or 200% Benchy. It might be 200%. Okay, now we've got this up. So home, we need to import Arduino project. And storage, GitHub, Marlin. Is this where I put it? No, it might be on the. Let me find out where this is, because it might be on the server. 3PO. Yes, my server's name is 3P, C3PO. Documents. Printing. Arduino. There it is. There's the cube. So let's copy that. Import Arduino project. This is going to be Arduino Mega. And then, why is this here? What's the drive that I have on that? Oh, T drive. Arduino, BLVMGN, and this should be bug fix, I think. Yeah, bug fix. Import that. So this is an older version. I might end up hitting you up, Keith, if you're still there. So you can help me out on getting this on the latest version. Marlin, configuration advanced. So that is the where's that under AutoZone? Is that under configuration? Where it's at? No, in here. Align. Oh, Z stepper line. Here we go. Back there. Okay. So I was set to 40 on the X, 160 on the Y. Let me run that again and see where it's going to. Again. Okay, so that's right. But I think that to go way over more. This bed is bigger than the old one was. So X is at 220. It's at 220 when I say 250. Let's set that to 300, I guess. Or 320. Let's go 320 with that. Yeah, that should be all right. That's the X position, Y is 160 straight back. We're gonna go a little bit bigger than that because we're gonna do 180. Because also my offsets are off, so that's the other thing I do need to figure out. Yeah, that just came out not long ago. Is the beta for $109 is what it is. But yeah, I do need to adjust my home offsets. So that's under configuration. Home. Where's it at? For that. All right, the Z probe is fine. Got an X and can never remember where these are in here. There it is. So this is 342 now by 342. Now, if we're going to toggle this, zero. Okay. And then just go Y. When did I get on the bed there? Right about there. So 22.5. So that is on the Y. 22.5. Oh, Jim, looking forward to hear how that goes. X min, we can do X at about 7. Oh wait, if I was at 26, minus 7 is supposed to be 19. Yeah, I do want to change the oh, Wolfgang. Oh, you gave some things there for that. Interesting. Stud line, you're saying X, Y, 20 in the Y bed, X bed size minus 20. Oh, interesting. I'll give that a shot. That there, and then under it, we'll just try to put the old one there, see how that goes. I do want to, I don't know if anybody's actually using the, where's the safe? Is it safe? Is that what it's called? For the probing points. I think I have mine set. I kind of want to try removing that. That's good to know, Wolfgang. I never really use those. They seem a little out. I'd rather just kind of like put it to what I think it should be. Where is that at? So when you have the, come on. I got a freeze on me. Probing. Yeah, the margin. I have the margin set here. No, deep safe homing. So what I'm doing is here the margin. I have that set, and I'm wondering if I should just turn that back to something that's not set, because I don't think anybody else really does that. You have it turned off in the bare one. So maybe I'll turn it off for now. We'll see how that goes. No, I can do the same thing with the actual bed origin, what I set before, because by setting the actual min and max here, the Y minimum, so it's like Setting it negative makes it 0. You know what I mean? So if I set these to negative, that helps. I don't know which one's better. I don't know if Keith is still in here. He's the Marlin guru. But you have to do one or the other. You can either do the manual X home, which again, I want it to be 0, but I want 0 to be at these coordinates. I don't know which one I don't know which one's better to do. But let's turn this off, get my chip out, and give this a try. See how it goes. Where's the chip out on this? There it is. Okay. Let's see if this compiles. Build. There it is. So delete the old. We'll call current old. And once this one finishes, let's do build that. And wait for that to build. And hopefully it doesn't fail me. Give it a second to do that. The thing I have not figured out yet is a spool holder yet. I haven't figured that out yet. Well, actually, I did. I'm wrong. I was thinking of another print I'm working on. I put one on the back here because I'm smart. Sometimes. But I guess we can go ahead and load this in now. I have not calculated the load and unload length yet for this. So I do have a fabric tape measure. So I just need to measure that out, convert it to millimeters, and then set that in the firmware. But I mean, I don't know. I can't even guess how long it is. It's long. I guess the loading won't matter because it's direct. But I still have to put in for whatever that is in there. It's still not in there. But yeah, I definitely need to hit Keith up and ask him about doing the merging this into a newer version of the old bug fix. Oh, is that it? Oh, almost. Linking, building that. Success. Much success. Right out bin. Okay. We can put this on it. Cat, what are you doing, dude? Okay. We're on with that to update. We're turning on now. Yeah, I definitely think there's something wrong with this thing. There it goes. Having issues. Jack, what's up, man? All right, so let's go to configuration, advanced. Let's do initiate EEPROM just to be safe. I have auto initiate on, but I like to be safe on it. Let's do auto home. Oh, it was home X. Auto home. We do it to motion. Let's do level bed. I still need to tune my, what's called still, the sensorless homing. And right now it's a 3x3 grid just to keep it simple. But once I get everything finished, oh, that didn't work. Yeah, so right there. I am going to have to set that back there. The right side. So what is that? What is the... Unless I have my offset wrong. I have it set to 30. Maybe I need to just set it just a little bit more over there. Where's my little one at here? From the nozzle to the center of the probe, let's call it 32. Let's give it a little extra. So it's just there. Let's do that. Yeah, I'll make it a little more that away and kind of go from there. Chip. Let's see, where are we at? Well, that's done. I just have to rebuild now. Make it so. I need to plug my phone. It's going to die. Yeah, but that's automatically set, Aaron. I don't set where the probe points are. Because I have it set to 20. Right here, the range. That's the Z probe offset. Where do I change that? Did I not set that right somewhere? I'm not sure where I need to change that at. Unless I need to change the margin, because the margin will bring it further in each direction in. No, he's talking about just the auto bed leveling, jack. But I'm not sure where I need to change that, unless it's the margin. Yeah, the probe margin. So if I do, so the left is the only one I think I need to change, right? So that's going to be, Wolfgang gave me this little bit there. So X bed size minus 30. I'm going to do 20 just because it's a big bed. There's no just overall probing margin, is there? Oh, there is. It is. Probe margin is set to 10. I need to rebuild this because I made that change after it was already building. So let me wait for this to finish and I'll rebuild it again. It does take like 3 minutes to build. This is my least favorite part of 3D printing. It's the firmware. Huh. You say, you know you're a dad when you parody every song with something else. I do that all the time. All the time. That's finished. So let's do this again so that my final changes are in there. Build that again. I still need to completely disassemble these corners and twist the motors. I'm not looking forward to that. That is the one thing, is that motor maintenance on this is pretty much impossible, to be honest. But I think I have to disassemble the whole thing, or can I just move that one, I wonder? I don't think it's that easy. I thought there was one more. It's actually in there, holding in that other corner. One more inside there. Yeah, motor maintenance on this is not ideal. It's only because of the way that the pulleys were designed. I think redesigning the mounting locations of the pulley would be better. But just because they come up at the top and you have to screw them from the bottom in this super weird way, I don't know, I just don't, not a big fan of it. Beer tastes better out of the Mythic mug. Oh wait, that failed. Probe margin left is too large. Oh, because I did left instead of right, because I'm an idiot. Control X there. Right margin should be that. Let's try to build that again. I love when you actually get a real error message out of Marlin. You don't always get it. And man, that drives me crazy because you get this one random error and you're like, what in the world does this mean? It's still too large, guys. Probing margin right is too large. Can't be X bed size minus 20. So what am I missing here, Wolfgang? Because that's not working. Or Jack. Looks like Keith left us. That jerk. I'm going to talk bad about him until he comes back. Set that to 20. Would that work? Instead of doing all of that. Let's see if that works. Oh, you guys can't see what that was going on there. It aired out. Just do probing margin 20. Could do that. Let me see if this compiles just for that side. Probing margin 20. Oops. There's space in there, Shane. That. Take that out there. It did make it past that part though, so obviously using Wolfgang, what you're using might work, but I'm on bug fix. So, and this is the bug fix right around 2.5.4, I think. 2.0.5.4, right around there. It's an order bug fix. Try this first, then we'll try the other one Aaron said. Well, Jack, this setting doesn't matter whether it's 4xy or not. It's the settings are the settings. I wonder what does Chris set it for? Mr. Warkaki set it for the bear. He has it as 10 on the bear. Hmm. Yeah, it's 996. I got it, Aaron. It's there. I know what to change. It's just interesting that I need to change it to that. I want to try this way first, and then we'll try it the other way. What? Oh, this thing keeps resetting to a lower voltage. That's one issue. So configuration, advanced, initialize EEPROM, initialize. Okay. Motion, let's do auto home first. And then we're going to do Z align, because I need that to be lined up first before we do it. I know I don't have to check his GitHub because I have his firmware. His firmware is running on my SKR bear, so. I love watching it do this. You can see how skewed it is right now. It'll adjust for that. It's so awesome. It's there. One more adjustment, I think. Here it goes. Okay, now I want it to level the bed. Nope, that did not work. So, all right, let's go with what Aaron said then. Change that margin from 10 to 20. I might end up just having to zero everything out. I mean, the bed size is right. I just don't know why it's being so weird. So we're going to do the probing margin of 20 this time. Could have been, but they weren't. Yeah, that's already defined for the max position. I manually set that. Again, I don't use the X bed size. I have it set to 340. So, all right, we're going to build this now with Aaron's changes and see how that goes. Oh, wait. Did I did a boo-boo. I actually didn't copy over the file, Aaron, from those last changes. But either way, I'll go this route. Where's my... There it is. Yeah, I totally forgot to copy over the old config. No, Jack, it's just that the homing is not, I don't have that perfectly set yet. It's because it hits it so hard it actually kind of jerks a little bit back. So I still need to do testing and figure out the perfect homing, but it is off. I know that. It's homing still a little too hard. Again, it's not the belts. It's a I don't have sensorless homing tuned. Okay, so this is the other change I just made. So let's do the configuration advanced. There's some EEPROM. Yeah, so when this is going to come over, it hits just too hard still. I still need to figure out a good setting for it. Yeah, see how it's hitting so hard? I need to lower my sensitivity a little bit in order to get that not to hit so hard. Oh, shit. Okay, well, with me setting that definitely was not bueno. So let's try this other way. I had mentioned before, I hate firmware. So, yeah, Jack, senseless homing. No point running 2209s. Well, it is more difficult to set up. Didn't say that. More of a pain to set up. All right, so you guys see what I'm doing? Yeah, okay. Okay, motion. Let's do the auto Z align now and see if it jacks up. Yeah, so X is close. That was pretty good, but Y is too high. It's triggering, just not properly. Bring on the kill switch this time. No, it's just, I mean, it's just there. It's just not enough over. So I think I need to reset bed size and everything like that. So let's go and zero out. So I think because I switched beds, I am confusing the whole system here. So where's the home stuff at? Okay. I'm not using 2130s. I'm using 2209s. So it's definitely not a buggy firmware thing. It is an idiot thing. So let's grab out this. Let's just remeasure. Well, that sucks. It's like 330, 343 by 343. 344 by 344 actually. My actual build size. Yeah, so that's 344 is that. 344 and 344. So if we do X min at 0, Y min at 0. So if I take this down, motion, move axis, X. So there's X and Y there. Okay, so if we look, Y should be $24, and X is, we call that 4. So X min is at -4, Y min is at -24. Now, that does take into account what does that take into account? I think my X position might have been off, and that's why it's just a little over too much. Maybe. Let's do this change and see if that helps at all with this. Let's change this video title to Firmware. And then I don't know what the X max travel is. I guess I could try and figure that out. But if X is at 0 now, then okay, so X is motion home X. Let's move X. That's 340. I still have like 10 to move. So we can call that 350. Now if we bring it back to the middle, let's do home Y. And that, it bumps back out to 2, which I might end up turning that off. I think the bump is also my issue. I think people say to not do bump. So that's 340, and there's at least another 10 there. I guess it's probably another 20. What's that measure out to here? 25. Let's add 25 on that. So that makes Y 365, which makes sense because I have the at 24, so that'd be 364. We'll call it 365 because I'm going a little bit past that. Yeah, let's try that. Let's build this and see if that works at all. Keep forgetting with the power switches. Keep reaching over here. Power switch is on that side. All right, let's see what this does. To-do. So I printed out a stand for the drivers that Aaron got me, but I just remixed my Weehaw ones, and it's just too big. I need to make the hole smaller. So I'm gonna. Oh, let's see. Z stepper line is unreachable with the X probe offset. Okay, so Z. Let's go back to my align algorithm from Wolfgang's. Get rid of that hogwash. Let's try to build that again. Later, Wolfgang. Thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate the help. We've been doing this a lot longer. We're only an hour and 20 minutes in. But man, the things drag on. What's the biggest one of these? So this one is a 6mm, but the actual thing is 8. So we can make that one 9. 9, 7. Down in a minute. Still building? Where'd you go? Still building. Takes forever. Do that until after this. It's just about done here now. Let's go to the SD card. Delete the current. That's right. Let's pull that over. Okay. Now let's see what happens. We'll do the Z aligned first. See how that goes. Oh, Z align. Let me see if I have that bump on there. I think people said to turn the bump off. And the back off, I have a 0 there. Function advanced. It's all 2. Okay, that's 2 is fine. See how this is going. Jim, it's all right. Everyone loves Happy Gilmore, man. Happy Gilmore's my favorite. Let's try the level the bed. That's better. That's better right there. Hang on 1 second. I think one of my kids out of bed. It worked. Hot dog. So, all right. So you were saying no bump needed for sensorless. Thought it should be. I thought it was 2, but in the bear, he has it set to 2, same as this one. If I look at Megatron, yeah, the bump is set to 0. The visor is there. It's the back off. Sensorless back off is 2 millimeters, not a bump. But I still, again, my values for sensorless homing are still off. So I do need to figure that out at some point. I guess we could try right now. So if we do, it's under configuration, advanced, TMC drivers, sensorless homing. They're both set to 50. So let's take X down to 40. And let's home X. Maybe it's not sensitive enough. Well, that seemed pretty good. Y is definitely a problem. So let's change Y as well. Configuration, advanced, TMC, sensorless homing, Y. Let's take that down to 40 as well. Motion, home Y. No, it needs to be more sensitive. Configuration, advanced, TMC, sensorless homing. Let's take Y to 60. Still does it. X is good. So Y still does it. So let's do configuration, advanced, C, up to 70. I'll move Y a little bit. Home Y. It's closer. Definitely better. Configuration, advanced, C, go up to 80. I'm doing adjustments by 10, and then I can go back and do individual adjustments. Just gonna move Y a little bit. Still doing it. Still doing it. Let's take it up. Configuration, advanced. Go to 100. Move Y a little bit. Home Y. Okay, we're too high. We know going to 100 was too high. Do this again. Go to 90 then. The 100 seem to be too high. Yeah, still too high with 90. Go halfway to 85. We know 80 still crashed in pretty hard. Oh my. Well, it's pretty close there. Let's go 86 now. One TMC drivers. This is the hard part about sensorless homing, is getting this dialed in perfectly because every machine is going to be different. It's still pulling it over a little bit. You see when it does that? You think they're both to be the same, Aaron? Well, that would be weird. Let me look that up real quick. Anything? I don't see anything for 4XY. Let me Google it and see what it says. Sensitivity value. Let's see what some of these bug reports say. That makes sense. You're 100%. That does make sense. Hey, Critic, how you doing, man? Doing all right. Just trying to figure out sensorless homing on 4XY. If anybody knows, yeah, it seems like you do have to have it the same. You're right. But X home is just fine. Y is just a little off there. Let's try both of them the same then. I mean, they were the same before. So let's make them both. Let's go 70 on both. Let's go higher. 290 on both. It's too high. $80.80. From X. Y. It still yanks it a little bit. See, there's always that yank there. So I just no, it's not doing it. That's doing good there. This is my Z's at 5. Let's double check our Z axis. How close we are to having that on, because that will have changed because it's a new bed. Yeah, it needs to be a little bit higher, I think, than what it is right now. Where is a piece of paper? I need a piece of paper. Ooh, there's a thing in here. A little thick, but it'll do the job. Yeah, we need to change that up a little bit. Auto home everything. X home's nice. I wonder if it's always going to do that little bit on Y. Off by quite a bit. I might have to do this the normal way. I don't want to hook it up to my computer right now. Trying to cheat a little bit here. Pretty spot on right there. I can fudge that, I think. Auto home. Yeah, X is nice. Why just yanks a little too hard still? Now, it also could be a voltage thing as well, that I'm just homing too hard with the voltage. So it could also be that. Because even when it was halved, it was still doing that. So let's just write it out. 400. Write this out. That's 400. Go with that. Build that out. We'll try that one more time there. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I did have a SD card for it. I don't know if I still do. I'm going to take it for another printer. I do need to get more SD cards for printers. I need to get like a batch of 4 gig ones. They're just not as cheap as I thought they would be. This one here is corrupt. I think it is. It says it's online in Disk Manager, but I'm not seeing anything for it. Yeah, it's like there's no partitions on it. So let's find a partition tool to try and play around with that. What do I have here for micro SD cards? I've got an 8 gig here. I'll throw this in an adapter for now. Man, where are these from? There's some old photos on here. Let's put these in folder on the desktop. I don't want to lose those. There. This is still compiling, by the way, so I'm waiting for that to finish compiling. Oh, man. So I need to turn this off. Get out my SD card. That's okay. So we can grab this firmware, copy that. So that's done copying. Almost there. Almost there. The goal is to beat that Benchy. Done yet? Almost. I think I built this a Simplify 3D profile, not a Prusa Slicer one. Where's that? I did, yeah. Import a Benchy real quick. Print files, test stuff, 3 Benchy. I think it's that big. I think I only did 150. Wait, enter. 90. Yeah, 150. That's what I did. 150% scale on this big old printer. So, what's that finished. Okay. I'm saving this out to the SD card now. Now we'll upload the firmware changes and we'll see how that affects everything. Go from there. And then we can copy the firmware here. Click copy, and then go to the SD card. Paste that in, get rid of the current. Okay. Now we can put it in here. How did that Benchy turn out? I mean, was it really that bad, Aaron? I mean, again, I didn't see a stream because, you know, people without kids stream during the day. I have to wait to stream until my kids go to bed. I don't have that luxury of streaming during the day. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just facts of life. It was crap. Okay. Well, that's not very good to hear because I do have a D2 coming to me. They offered it to me, oh God, 2 months ago, and then just replied to me like 3 days ago saying, hey, we're sending it to you now. Okay. That took literally forever. Auto home. Still hits that hard. Oh, I do need to where's the offset again real quick. Well, let's see how this all heats up now. If we nuke anything or not. So I'm gonna let it come with temperature and then I'm gonna turn on the LEDs. I want to see if that changes. It's still set to 12 volts. So I normally always do that errand as well. Tom though, so Chris will mod a printer, but Tom will not. He literally will take it out of the box and just run it and see what happens. And that's it. Tom leaves it at that. He doesn't do anything more to the printer because he refuses to, because how it comes from you, it should be good to go to print off the bat. That's also why a lot of people are afraid to send him printers now, because they just know it's not going to do that. You have to modify it. But Chris will actually go and try to fix the problem, which is the difference between Chris and Tom. Didn't wipe that down. Do that real quick here. Need to bring some more alcohol up from the resin room to put in my little doohickey here. Let's pull you guys in nice and close for this, so you can see it either work or epically fail. Yeah, I've never modded a printer as well on the first print, but I have definitely modded printers after that. Everyone's seen that. And heck, look at the Two Tree Sapphire Pro, that piece of junk off the bat. It was just absolute garbage. Modified it and works pretty good now. But it took lots of gray hair and a lot of time to get there. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to PID tune this. I totally forgot. I did not PID tune the bed yet. So, can you do that in Marlin still? I mean, I didn't do the PID on it yet, Aaron, so it doesn't really matter what it is. Can you do that in here, or do I have to hook it up to Pronterface? So you can auto temp the. Well, I'm gonna have to do it in there, aren't I? Yeah, all right. Let me see if my cable reaches to this. Does. Wait, let's switch to here. Come on. There we go. Is it just called auto temp? Yeah, define auto temp. So it is on. But it's only for the hot end. There's no auto temp here for the bed. So let's get this over here. Let's hook up into, I think it's in 7. Yeah, let's just home X to ensure. Yep, that's it. So we can then paste. Didn't work. All right then. 60. Send it. I'll let that run for a minute. That is heating up now. I always have PID enabled, but just the auto tune inside of the menu. Again, I don't see anything for the bed there. Get up the temp a lot faster now with doing the auto temp way. Lots of stuff on Discord right now. My goodness. That later. All right. So we're at 60. So the first cycle is there. Each one should be quicker as it goes along. This is going to take a hot minute though. Might need to get a snack. Hot minute, get it? Dad joke of the day. The max is only 60.24. That wasn't too bad. Right now it's set for the BLV bed, which is, yeah, this is the BLV 24 volt bed. So I'm going to comment that out. New section here. We're going to call it the heater. Okay, do like that. I forget how many watts this bed is. I need to look that up. That top's definitely pretty toasty. Now that it's had a little bit of time to soak, I wonder what the temperature is. Still coming up. 55. So definitely might need to set a delay in my slicer when I go to print and have it stay at temperature for a few minutes just to, oh man, that's getting toasty. Just to get that up to temperature and let that soak through the aluminum bed here. Again, this is a 6 millimeter thick aluminum bed. I'm pretty sure I already PID tuned the hot end, which is good. There it is. So let's bring that over into here. So P is 81.09. I is 7.40. And this is 592.58. Now I forget the code to put it back in. I don't want to re-upload the firmware right now. So it would be M304. So it would be P 81.09, I 7.40, D 592.58. Whoops. I is 7.40. There we go. We'll make that 740. That might be bad. That might indeed be bad. Okay, so let's go to, let's just store these settings, make sure that actually stayed. Now the bed's already heating up, so I'm cheating, but I will make some times of it and see what happens with it. Is there an easy way to switch to manual focus on this camera? Can't do it. I just can't do it. Oop, from back here. Let's do that. There we go. Just do me with manual for this one. Yeah, Brandon, I saw him say that, but I don't see it in there to do it. Like, here's the auto temp. Proportional. It is enabled, but I don't see anything for hot end or extruder. It's or hot end or bed. We need to look it up online and see what it says there. Extruder's almost to temperature now. Wish I had a little bit of filament there. Make sure I'm primed. definitely need to change my startup again, because on Prusa Slicer, I have the hot end wait until after probing. So now it's going to leave all of these boogers across the bed. Is the audio choppy? It might just be you. Maybe reload the page and see what happens, but I'm still at full battery on both my transmitter and receiver, and I'm not dropping out any of my packets right now. I'm still 0% packet loss. That's annoying. Oh yeah, I need to fix that too. It's priming way off the bed. That's hilarious. I'll need to fix that. What in the world? Holy smokes. Why is my extruder going at 1,000,000 miles an hour? Did my E-steps get jacked? Or 15? What's that about? Yeah, it just started spitting it like crazy. No, E-steps are right. Let me verify my Simplify 3D profile here. Extrusion multiplier, 0.93. Looks okay. It was super weird. Let's try slice and send that again. Oh wait, did I screw that up? My starting code. Let me fix this again real quick here. It's fine. All right. The feature quest was closed. Oh, that's a bummer. Let's try this again. It would be nice. I hate having to hook up the printer to printer face to work. It's super annoying. I'm the only one that views that way, but I don't know. I just say it's pretty quiet. I have 37 people sitting in here listening right now. It is super quiet in chat. Nothing but mods talking. Be light. Yeah, I definitely need to make a Prusa slicer profile for this. Never didn't change anything with extrusion either, so it printed fine before. I may have to put end stops on this just because of how hard that sensorless homing is smacking around it. It's also, I have it set to heat up the bed first and then probe and then heat up the hot end. But for some reason in Simplify 3D, that's just not working. Too much blue in the chat. Yeah, V5, I did see that. It's gonna go crazy this time. It is. It's just going so fast. What the heck is wrong? Is my acceleration off or something? Like, what the heck is the problem? I printed with this profile before. Thought I did. Just going to town. Made a Here's the thing. I just don't even have a starting point for Prusa slicer. The E steps is fine, Jack. It's set to 415. Just verified it. 415. Yeah, Billy's, I know it is. I'm not even there yet. I need to get the printer to actually extrude properly. And the feed rates are fine. Feed rates are not high at all. Not enabled. Or do I have it on another printer? $50. Expansion advanced. There it is. 80, 50, 4,000, 4,000 there too. Disabled. Try and change the accelerations, I guess. 1250. Yes, Brandon, it does extrude 10 millimeters if I tell it to do that. So it could be a buggy profile now for some reason. So I don't have a hypercube one here, do I? Anything, man. Sapphire Pro is the closest thing to this. So we're just gonna call this the 3 cube. Set the bed size. See height to 300. Yeah, the purge comes out just fine. I mean, the purge is exactly how it should be. There's no, that extrudes just fine. But when the print starts, it just goes absolutely insane. You have one for this jack or for Hypercube? The printer already prints. Like, how many times I have to say that? This came off the print before. It already prints. It's not an issue with any of that. The printer does work. Already printed with it. Something in that Simplify 3D profile is not liking it at all. Yeah, Jack, I'd love that. If you could send that my way, that'd be great. It's not the temp variable, it's just that it was just extruding at 1,000 miles an hour. For that part, Keith. Okay, I get what you're saying there. All right, I'm tracking now. Eight. Minimum. What are traction simplify 3D? Let's copy that over. Two at 35. 2 at 35. Set then. Okay. I do not have super slicer. That's okay. I'm gonna try this one out here. See how this goes. Wow. Test stuff. Benchy. Repair that real quick. I need to like export the saved repaired Benchy. I haven't done that yet. I've never even heard of Super Slicer before, Jack. Super Slicer. Make this 150%. Whoops. See all around. All right, let's slice and dice. Oops. Well, it's interesting, Jack. I've never even heard anybody even talk about that before. Let's try this again. Just to show you guys what that, when it came out. Where are we at? So it did this. A little thin part and then just like bloop on the turns. So, no. Could still be a firmware. I mean, it could be firmware thing. I didn't change anything with that though. What's the 10 tower flow test? Oh, that's pretty cool. Everyone's on the Idea Maker bandwagon. I just haven't got there yet. It's a little daunting. It was like the first time going to Simplify 3D and all the settings. Like it's daunting. There's a lot of settings in there that you can change. I do not have linear advance enabled. Kitty, what are you doing? Doggone kitty. Tell ya. And Jack, I actually don't use Linear Advance in any printer. I think I finally enabled it on the FT5, but that's about it. All right, that worked out well. So clearly, as Keith said, I was using the wrong variables for the first layer temperature or the print and bed temperature settings in the startup code for Simplify 3D. I thought it would have been the same, but obviously it's not. So now it's heating up the hot end. I'm going to throw something to you, cat. Legit. Stop it. Do-do-do-do-do. Almost there. Everybody remembers when, while this heating up, I remember fidget spinners. They were the rave. It's an old wooden one that I made a long time ago. So I saw something on Kickstarter. It's a new type of fidget spinner. It's these three, they're magnetized discs. And you can just kind of do this. They are crazy fun to play with. Even more so than the fidget spinner, because you can do so much more with them than just spin it around in your fingers. But I'm really liking these. I've been playing with these a lot lately. DaVinci is a test, so it's up to the user to choose a layer height or what? Yeah, I'm using a 0.6 millimeter layer, 0.6 nozzle. I'm using a 0.36 millimeter layer height. And I still did not adjust my first layer to be there yet. Oh, my Z-probe offset got reset. Okay, that's better. It's not going crazy. But yeah, this is way off. Restart this in a minute. I can get close on this here. I am super cheating. I'm going to restart this, but I am just super cheating on how to get your first layer right. These look good. And what I do is I merge my baby steps with my Z-probe offset. And I can just set it like that real quick. So negative 1.153 is what it is. And now we can just start that again real quick. Again, it's super cheating, but I hate going through the first level settings and putting a piece of card under there and everything. So Jonathan has one. Let me see if I can find the link for these while this thing's heating up. But again, they are pretty fun. It was a Kickstarter. Here they are. Thin gears. I got an Indiegogo, I got it. Got here real quick. So that's them there on Indiegogo. And I have the large ones for my big old fingers. Billy, because I just don't want to have to change it again. This way, if I do it this one time, I can print this Benchy over and over again with the same G code and not have to worry about it, but it's already set. I mean, that takes an extra 2 minutes, but I know. It's my personal way to do it. Looks like they're not shipping them right now, which is the one kind of sucky thing. But maybe there's another website out there. But yeah, they're called Fin Gears. Hey, Vince, what's up, man? I don't know how you buy them anymore. Because they were doing like ordering sets of them. Also, but on the Kickstarter, they actually show you videos. Maybe it's on the Indiegogo one too. But on Kickstarter, they show you videos of people using it, which is pretty cool. Lower seems like. It's pretty good. A little bit of a screw up. Looks like a pretty. Well, that's not good. It just shut off. This is what it did before. And I thought it was because of the bed. What do you guys think? Is that a power supply issue? Or is that a board issue? SKR is overheating. Power supply sure is toasty. SKR looks okay. I wonder if the power supply is having issues and it hasn't been the bed this whole time. That is pretty hot. Power supply shouldn't be that hot, right? Well, this was printed with no heated bed, Jack, when I did these, because I was having issues with the BLV bed. So I know it works without the bed. That's the problem. So at least I know now that they're just booted back up now. I thought because I drilled the old bed, I thought I shorted it, and that's why it would die when I was printing. Clearly, that's not the problem. I have no idea. This is what came with the kit, and didn't work. It didn't work with the kit either. Like, it didn't work with the kit bed. It's probably a 320 if I had to guess. So this is a 500. SY 500-24. Look that up real quick. Work. You kidding me? It's a 500 watt. It's not. It could be. I mean, there's a fan in there. The fan is running. Isn't it? Keep running. Oh, it's because it's stuck. Well, that's a whole new ball wire. But I think whoever said it's overheating because of that, you might be the lucky winner. So, all right, I'm going to try and take it off real quick. It's mounted, so it's not going anywhere. So it's easy to work on. Where's my big Phillips? Here. Daniel might be right, but yeah, the fan is stuck. It's like it's damaged, so it's not actually it's not able to spin even with the screwdriver. The case doesn't look bent at all. I wonder if the fan is just jacked. And I do have other fans I can put in, which might help it out here. Let's get rid of the warranty sticker. Oh yeah, the fan is like totally broken. Does it turn on now? There it goes. Yeah, definitely didn't hear that sound before. Okay, let's close this up then. Get all these screws in. It still work that way? Yeah. Holy cow, that's loud. That sounds like a vacuum cleaner. We're definitely got to swap that fan out. Or I'll just get a different power supply for this eventually. We'll have to end up going with a Meanwell on this. Don't actually use Meanwells on any printer. Nine times out of 10, the cheap ones work out just fine. And when they do die, I mean, they are cheap, so replacing one is very easy. And I can also have a lot of spares on hand. I can usually buy 2 to 3 printers, 2 to 3 power supplies for the cost of one Meanwell. Normally, whenever someone has a printer problem or catches fire or something, it's not the power supply. All right. Can you guys hear that back here? Like, I don't know if the RTX audio takes it out, but I don't know if you can hear that over my voice. But that fan is so incredibly loud. I guess because it was so hot. So let's try this print again. Okay, set that to start. Stuck on the nozzle there, get that off. Yeah, so actually the fan was actually completely off and canted inside the housing. So it couldn't even spin. Yeah, maybe I'll look to put one in here. But yeah, that definitely took the temperature of that down. Let's take a look at how much a decent 24-volt power supply would be for this. So it's a 350. Get something bigger than a 350. I mean, 350 should be enough. This phone's $100. Holy heck, $100 for a power supply. Where's the best place to get a Meanwell at? Fair enough, Vince. Yeah, that also could be it. Meanwell HRB 450. It's a Google machine, that one. HRP or HRB? Really? Amazon? I'm not seeing that on Amazon. Yeah, it's $30 for the 350 watt one. HP 524. Apartments. That's $90, Keith. That is a hefty price for a power supply, my friend. $90. There's a cheap 600 watt one, 25 amps for $40. I like them. $90 is that's a lot of money, dude. It is a Meanwell, but I'm cheap. That is literally a month of Patreon just to get that power supply. That is a month of YouTube just to get that power supply. Again, when was the last time you saw a power supply nuke a home? It doesn't. The power supply is not the problem. Meant well. Oh, Vince, look at you with the dad jokes, man. The bed's not that powerful. Oh, I gotta readjust the offset. Come on. Because it reset the power and I forgot to save the value. Stop this real quick. Configuration. The offset. Okay, let's save the settings. So this time when it reboots, it's not gonna do that again. Oh man, that was a dumb mistake. The bed I thought was 250. Let me look here again. Look at my account real quick, what I bought. Orders. Press is really not working here. I have other fans to replace it with. It's not a problem. If this doesn't work. Using a bed module. What's a bed module? It's 360 watts. What it says here. 20 volts, 360 watts. So 15 amps for the bed alone. Well, that is bone cold now with that fan running. Absolutely cold now with that running. Am I zoomed in all the way? Not a great zoom with this camera. Man, I wish, Daniel, you are something else, man. A bit close, but it's all right. It'll be perfect for the first few prints here. So quiet though when it prints. The only thing I hear is that fan in the back, again, which is a pretty easy thing to replace. A bed expansion board is another name. Hmm. Yeah, I have the FT5 is still running the original power supply with a 250 watt bed on it. It's 360 watt power supply and it's doing just fine. This thing is shaking my whole table though. So this, like I said, this is running a 0.6 millimeter nozzle. It actually is a hardened nozzle as well because I do want to be able to print abrasives with this printer. So cover all my bases with that. It's just a hardened steel nozzle, not anything crazy. And my speed settings in this are rather conservative right now, obviously. I can go a lot faster with a volcano nozzle. But I just want to be on the safe side. Speed has never been my priority when it comes to printers. It's always been about quality. And when it comes to larger printers, I put a bigger nozzle on them just because I want to be able to print larger items on them that don't take a year to print. I mean, so speed, air quote speed, by having a larger layer height is really all it means. Chris, the build cost for this is right around 1,000. There's a lot of bells and whistles in it that you don't need, like there are down below. There's stuff for NeoPixels. I have Boku lighting on there. I mean, look at that. That just you can see everything with that. All the dust on the bed that didn't wipe off. I am really liking the LED setup on here. These were going to go to a separate power supply eventually, once I buy the one that Jim so nicely gave me some money to do so with. Can turn those off. I will have some front-facing LEDs around the fronts here. Eventually, those might be on a separate switch. And the NeoPixels, I'm still trying to figure out how to make those work because there's a way to do it, but It's quite long and involved, and right now I just want to get this working. But I also could just add a momentary switch on the NeoPixels and have them do like crazy designs or something. I don't know. Still trying to figure that part out. It's in the cart, Jim. It's in the cart, brother. Already there. I'll throw this 600 watt in there just to be safe. Just to have a spare even. Yeah, old CR10s are 12 volt, new ones are 24 volt. I appreciate it, Jim. It's only 15 bucks. 15.75. So I'm gonna get the 8 amp one again so I can run a few more things off of it if I want. Just kind of to be on the safe side there. But man, fixing that fan definitely seems to have helped out here. And holy shenanigans, is this slow. When do I have the fan turn on? Let me look here. Where's Proof Slicer at? Proof Slicer. Cooling. Should be off for the first 3 layers. It should be on now. Why is it not on now? And it's still off. This is technically the 4th layer, I think. Unless it doesn't count the 1st layer. Oh, let's see. Make sure this turns on. I'm a little worried now. Also, once I get this whole back part enclosed back here, we won't even hear that that fan at all. But I'll definitely put a new one in there. These are 2209s, Darren. Beds, top of the bed is at 59, 60 degrees. Fluctuates a little bit, but it's right there. And we're at 60 on the bottom. So we have equilibrium after a few minutes. So a lot of people out there were kind of doubtful of it. So focus this in here. Oh, you can't see that, can you? There it goes. There's a picture of the top of the bed, 59.2 degrees. So everyone was kind of worried that since I had such a thick bed and the spring steel sheet on there that I wasn't going to be able to get up to temperature, but obviously it can. So it is a silicone heat pad, 6mm tool aluminum bed, and then is a magnetic sheet, and then it is the magnetic flex steel sheet, double-sided. So the bottom side is powder-coated PEI, and then PEI sheet on top from ergonomic, whatever they are. One more solid part there in the middle. Fan is still not on. Why not? That sucker's loud. The whole table's moving, Eduardo. My table is not really made to hold a 100-pound printer stably. So once this gets moved to the floor is not going to move. But yeah, this whole table is moving. So there's that little piece on the nozzle finally came off. So now we should be done with the solid infills. We should be just doing all regular infill now. Earthquake. Last place I lived had earthquakes, man. I never lived anywhere in the U.S. that had earthquakes. But, man, they are legit. The guy that worked for me, he worked in Peru for a while. And he's like, oh, earthquakes are nothing there. His wife was Peruvian. Yeah, earthquakes are nothing, dude. I was like, they are for me. I'm from the Northwest. I'm sorry, Northeast. And yeah, it just, we don't have earthquakes up there. The current filament, this is the Anycubic PLA, which is Sunlu PLA. Yeah, definitely need to get some more oil into the bearings up here. We're a little squeaky. Slow moves are fine, but it's the diagonals that really make this thing holler. Excuse me. It's pretty annoying. I was just watching it. Love it. Where are we at here? Yeah, Florida. Yeah, I don't have to worry about it down there. Probably got her. I mean, even when I lived out there, it was only we only had like I mean they had some every day, but I only ever felt like I don't know like 5 or 6 in 2 years. So no idea because again I use the Sapphire Pro as a thing. So speed, perimeters are at 60, infills 80, travels 130. I don't know, roughly 60, I guess. Again, this is a 0.36 millimeter layer height. I'm being, again, conservative with my speed right now and everything. That noise is coming from these. Because little movements are okay, but when you get the long movements, getting a lot of vibration in the rail. When it's going diagonal fast, I'm getting a lot of vibration in the rail. Doesn't sound too spectacular, I'll tell you that much. Come on. Sound coming from? It almost sounds like there's some loose bolts somewhere. Here. It's not in here. All these are all shored up. Might just need to make a custom print that's just big, try and narrow down where anything loose might be at. It's pretty loud, Jack. I'm wondering if it's just I have something rubbing in here too much, because I can feel the vibration. Not right now. Right now it's fine. But when I was doing those larger movements and I hold on to the shroud, it's really there. I'm wondering if I'm just getting too much rubbing over here. All of these are tight. So don't hear anything. Don't hear anything. Still nothing. Don't really feel too many vibrations in there. But right now, got all the feels in here. Come on, go fast again. 5A. Doggone perimeter overlap. Yeah. It's loud. Yeah, I'll see if I can post something on Discord. You guys can hear it, but I definitely feel a lot of it in this front cover. This front cover is mostly aesthetic, but it does hold the top and bottom, this top extruder onto the carriage, but it doesn't have to be there. You can put the bolts in without it there. Yeah, it's definitely annoying. Fan's so hot. Something rubbing on the other side? It's gonna kill me forever until I figure out what that sound is from. Yeah, I think I need to reslice this, and I didn't have the fan always on, so fan's actually off for a lot of this. So it's the front's coming out like absolute garbage. It's definitely not the fans for this. So I'm going to stop this. That is looking like absolute garbage. And Do that. Yeah, it's definitely not the fan. It's just I can feel it, the whole thing on the speed moves. I can really feel it. But yeah, that front was coming out pretty poorly. Yeah, see, that fan was not, I didn't have the fan always on, so that was a big problem there. The walls are only set to 2, right? Yeah. Fix this. I have used BL touches in the past. Never really been a big fan of them due to their inaccuracy. Now, the newer BL touches are better than the older ones. I had an older one on my FT5 for a long time. And not for a long time, I had it for a while. But I would always have to adjust my Z. I would always have to adjust my Z height when I was printing with it. And it was just too inaccurate. But I got a newer one not too long ago, but a little while ago, and I put that on the Sapphire Pro, and it worked out really well. Here from the other first layer that I missed. The new ones have the plastic tip. The old ones had the metal one. Those are the ones that were not so accurate. You guys actually see the LED on the right here. Went up in the sensor because that's the optocoupler. Yeah, see right now it's really whiny when it's doing these moves. So it's definitely this rail here. The Y rails are fine. It's the X rail. Even that has some. Maybe it's these bearings. Maybe partially these bearings too. I might just go back and replace all the bearings. You guys can't really hear that. I'll post a video on Discord with the sounds. See what people think. But it very well could be the bearings and the rails. Could be these flanged bearings that he uses. A lot of people rave about them. I've personally never used them before. Well, they're all brand new bearings. So, I mean, they are moving. It's just there's a lot more noise than I would like. I have none of this noise in the FT5, and the FT5 is a very similar setup: linear rails, belts, bearings, but it's not using any of these split bearing things. I also have nowhere near enough of these bearings to be able to replace all of them either. And I don't know if they would fit either. I would need to find some shallow 6mm belt bearings for these. I don't think the flange will fit in these parts. I still didn't adjust that. Ah, shoot. Keep forgetting to do that. It's a smidge too close. Almost got my beard caught in the belt there. That would hurt. Yeah, that is the one issue also with the BL Touch is that if you don't have everything in your printer set up exactly right and say the bed's all the way up and it tries to home, especially in this type of configuration, the BL Touch pin will extend and then just crash right into the bed. I've seen a lot of people do that. And it's just if you don't have your configuration perfectly set up right, that's going to happen. And that's burned a ton of people. I personally not how that happened, but I've just seen it so often. Just saying earlier, a guy that worked for me a couple years ago, he worked in Peru and his wife was from there, and they were telling me about all the earthquakes to us city folks. So I am printing this also just a little bit faster as well. Might have been just going a little too slow because you can go too slow on a print and it's just going to look like garbage. So I did speed everything up just a little bit so that my core speed is mostly 80 now instead of 60. I definitely think I can speed up a lot more still. Especially with the volcano nozzle, really allows you to do quite a bit. I wish I could zoom in just a little bit more, but I just can't. Popped out, caught the print done. Oh yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah, see, right now, this movement speed is good. It's not loud at all. But the infill is just a little faster. What's the infill set to? Um, Speed. Infill set to 80 as well. Interesting. Still getting a little bit of it. There's the fan now. Yeah, this thing is really shaking now. So again, it's relative to the table. It's not the gantry. All of this is not shaking. It's the entire printer shaking on my table a little bit. Still okay. So I'm gonna let this go just a little bit longer, and probably gonna end the stream here in about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. So if you guys have any questions while this is printing, please feel free to ask away. I'm gonna switch to this here. There we go. So that's going. I'm gonna clean up a little bit as well. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, ask away while I'm here. Yeah, it's gotten quite late quite quickly. It's messing with the firmware and everything, and that went from an hour and a half to 3.5 hours really quickly. Time gets away from me. My wife hates it. Yeah, with gyroid infill sounds better than the rectilinear infill. All right. Oh, in the BMG? I haven't. This is the first. No, this is the second time. Because I had a BMG on the Sapphire Pro, and there's a BMG on the Anycubic Mega Zero. This is the first one that I've ever installed on a printer. So I'm usually a Titan guy. I have Titans on several printers. I like the E3D Titans. I like them. They just have always worked for me. The BMGs never really caught my eye. Don't know why. They just haven't. I know everyone will give you their opinion on what's their favorite extruder, and everyone's will be different. Yeah, people that like Titans, people that like BMGs, easy extruders, regular MK8s. I mean, you'll get quite the difference from a vast majority of people. Oh my God, why don't you just want to go into your spot here, please? Ugh. We'll print out some zip tie ones. Here. How long would it take me to print all the parts? Hey, Michael. I don't really know because I did it in pieces. So I printed out the main frame pieces. I built the frame first, and then I printed out all of the X and Y pieces, which took about, I had two printers going because I bought 2 rolls of the yellow PETG to run. So it took maybe, I don't know, 2 days, I'd say, to print all of X and Y. Another day to print the Z. The front panel here took quite a bit longer because each of these I think took 8 hours, and I just did this on one printer, so it was about 3 days because obviously I'm not home all the time. When I printed these, I wasn't home all the time. I am, but I wasn't home all the time, so these each took about a day each, just do one each day. The front panel, I modeled this up twice, was able to get that in 2 runs. I mean, so all in all, you can print all the parts in less than a week. You can do it even faster if you load your bed. I didn't load them too heavily, but I would have at least, I don't know, 8 parts on each one. So something like that. Yeah, genuine BMGs are what, like $60, something like that? I'm just finishing up, Aaron. We got some settings down a little bit more on the slicer. This one's coming out a little bit better, I think. We're going to find out here in a little bit. Jig, 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 jig. It's shaking the whole table. But now that I get on pre-slicer, I'm going to have to retune because I can already tell the front is not looking as good as this one does with Simplify 3D. But I don't know what's up with my Simplify 3D profile. It's just gone crazy on me. One more printer to print them on. If only, if only. So I also don't have like the seam aligned, I don't think, in this as well. Oh, it is aligned, okay. I'm not really liking how it's handling the tip there compared to Simplify 3D. It's definitely not looking as good. But anyways, there's lots to tune on this still. Being that it's such a big custom printer, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to have to play with. So we'll see how it all ends up. Oh yeah, these things. Well, so the other thing with these is that they are all way too loose. I modeled this, but I didn't change the hole size from the WeHa drivers. I was like, oh, those will just stay there. Actually, no, they're way too loose. So I have it open in Fusion now. I might do that before I go to bed, model that up, and then print it in the morning. But yeah, those are shaking everywhere. This thing does shake, rattle, and roll like crazy. The big printer. But once I get it back on the floor, it won't be an issue there with that. All right, well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, guys. It's been quite a long stream, but we're got it printing again. Again, still need a bunch of tuning, but the beds works. The LEDs work, which is great. It really, really illuminates that print. I was a little blown out right now, but yeah, it looks really great with that. I have some more things to add. And again, I might pick up another different power supply for this, maybe a bigger, beefy one. I buy that 12-volt power supply to run all the 12-volt stuff. Don't have to worry about this little buck converter down here, which is still running cool. Got the nice cool fan on it, but it's rated for a lot more amps than those little ones were. Yeah, should be getting along there. I don't know what I'll be streaming on Monday. We'll see if mail comes in. Mail's pretty backed up for us right now. So there's a lot backed up right now. So I don't know. We'll see what happens on Monday night. But I thank you all for joining in. This is a fantastic stream. So many people coming in and hanging out with me as I work on this. You guys are giving a lot of big help. Also, a big shout out to Jim, who is funding the 12-volt power supply for this. So thank you, Jim, for that. If any other guys want to actually help out, you can do super chats or down below. There's some donation links, Patreon, affiliate codes you can use at different stores. All of that is what funds my printers. This is fully Patreon and viewer funded. So you guys doing that really help me out, get these things going, and help me buy cool things like awesome, fully customized beds. Really cool stuff. Thank you guys for joining in. Wash your hands. Happy printing. I'll see y'all next week.